Hi everyone, welcome to part 2 of our large Ficus Bonsai video. In this part we've already completed initial styling of the tree and we're going to repot it out of this flower pot that it was originally grown in and into a nice large bonsai pot to give it room for growth. So let's get started. Now I pre-loosened it out of this pot with a rubber mallet that I have here before we started shooting the video, so it just comes right out, and then we'll set the flower pot aside because we don't need it anymore. This tree has a pretty nice fine root base here, so all we really need to do is loosen it up a little bit and lower it down so that it'll fit in the bonsai pot. So I'm going to sort of go through the root base here. Another thing you may notice is it doesn't have any thick supporting roots near the base of the tree, and this is a very common problem with trees that have been grown from cuttings or from air layerings. Now right now I'm just going to pull away the weeds here and get them out of the way, and then once we get all the weeds out of the root mass, then we'll go back to doing a little bit of reshaping here. So I'm just pulling out these weeds so that we don't have to deal with them later. If you're not careful and you're running good soil, you can actually have the weeds take over the soil mass in the pot, and it can seriously impair the health of the tree. Now it looks like I'm getting lucky with the lower part of the root mass here. It's going to break up very nicely and the tree will fit easily into the pot. We'll just hang the tree over the edge of the table here so the branches don't get hurt during the work on the roots, and finish combing things out. Got a few more little weeds to remove, and we're almost there. Just going to do a little bit more here. Now it's time to see how well it's going to fit into the pot and if it will plant in at our desired angle. This is actually pretty good here. Move that just a little bit there. This is quite good. We're going to end up with some surface roots a little bit high on the front of the tree. And now what we did was we prepared this pot with some soil on the bottom, and we also ran some wires through the holes in the bottom of the pot. We went through the drain holes, and we'll use these wires to hold the tree. And what we'll do is we'll X them and then twist them together, and that way the tree won't rock around once it's potted in. Now eventually the tree should get enough roots and fill the pot up with roots so that it won't need to be wired in for support anymore. Some folks who live in places like Florida where you get hurricanes, you may want to keep them wired in all the time, but here in California it's not really necessary. Now that the tree is nice and firm in the pot and positioned towards the center, and adjust it just a little bit here, we'll get our pre-prepared supply of soil, and then we'll just start shoveling soil in until the pot is full. And you want to get the soil in fairly compact. You don't want to leave any air pockets in the soil, because if you do that, you can end up with ants and earwigs and all sorts of other undesirable creepy crawlies getting in the bonsai soil and doing damage to your tree. Probably the worst of these, and a reason why you should never keep a tree near a grass lawn, the worst of these are lawn beetle grubs, which are big fat white things, beetle larvae, and 4 or 5 of those can literally destroy a large bonsai's roots in a matter of weeks. Alright, now I'm going to turn the tree around and start putting soil in on the other side in order to keep the distribution of new soil coming in equal on all sides. And again, this is intended to avoid the formation of any air pockets and make sure that the soil is compacted evenly around the tree. The nice thing about using a bucket is you can actually pour the soil in once you get up above a certain level. And put it in here nice and even and just sort of backfill around the tree. Now for those of you who want to pretty the tree up, once you get to this stage, you can add your moss, your rocks, whatever else you want to add. But on this tree, we're just going to make sure that we give it a good healthy base of soil and that it gets a chance to put on some really good growth during the remainder of our California summer. The very last thing we always do is we water the tree. And on the first watering, we like to use a fairly fine spray or shower. And make sure it goes in the pot evenly. And then we water until the water runs out the bottom. But if it starts overflooding the top, which you'll get on this kind of soil mixture sometimes, then we stop. This looks like it's doing pretty well though, and we should start seeing water off the bottom of the pot any time now. Now we're just going to let the water drain down through the soil, and you can see it's now running out the bottom of the pot there, which is just what we've intended with this soil mixture. So here you have our freshly repotted Ficus Bonsai, and we'll do another follow-up video probably about a month from now or 6 weeks from now, when I'm expecting it to have far more growth on it than it does right now. Thank you very much for watching, folks.